All right, well, we are fighting up against the rain as we're working to dial in this developer HP. Hopefully it's just going to be a quick flight. It looks all good. We'll probably do a compass calibration in any case beforehand, especially if we get the warning in QGroundControl. We'll load up here shortly. And then if the weather does cooperate, we will also do what's called a compass mote calibration, where we'll swap the props, rotate them in one direction, flipping them upside down, and essentially try to drive developer HP in the ground as a way to remove magnetic interference. But weather does not look to be on our side as much as the weather forecast says otherwise. So we have a bag, and not just for putting on our head. I'm gonna keep my laptop dry. You can say this is a Care Bear, if you will. And well, I think this controller is by and large weatherproof, but for the time being, let's go ahead and check on QGroundControl loading, of course taking forever. We'll go ahead and set out the developer HP. I'm going to bring the case out there just so it's quick to get it back under cover. Even though the developer HP is fine by itself, the ZT6 thermal camera, not so much as far as being weatherproof. I'm gonna face it north, pretty much as north as we can, which should be more or less just straightforward in the way I have it facing now. I don't have the big controller on. But I do have the MLRS radio plugged into my computer. Like I said, I'm just gonna leave this case out here and make it a little bit more forgiving. So, all right, the camera did not initialize. I'm unplugging and I'm going to plug it back in, but this time lifting up the developer HP a little bit so the ground does not get in the way. It's not right up against the ground, but might have hit a little patch of grass that made it unable to initialize or rotate properly. Oh, it's so wet over here. All right. All right, we're getting GPS. Getting pretty quick lock. 10 satellites. Ideally, we would want quite a few more, 11 satellites. Using this RTK GPS, 12 satellites, 14 satellites, 15 satellites. Even though it looks like we're fine to fly without a compass calibration, kind of interested to see how it performs, although I just mentioned that more likely than not we'll do a compass calibration anyway. Let's see if turning on this controller introduces any other issues that we can see on QGroundControl here. Turning on this controller is a little bit of a guessing game as far as how you need to press the button to turn it on. You need to do a short press and then a long press holding it down. All right, just opened up QGroundControl here. I did verify that we could take a photo and record video at the office. We're going to do that again out here. Going to capture a photo here on the ground, take photo success.
Stabilize flight mode.
Recording video here. Should have 2 short little video clips. And rotating the camera just fine, even that close to the ground. I don't think we'll get a full telemetry connection. It typically stops about 3/4 of the way through. It's still enough telemetry to be able to fly, but for all the setup, like parameters, compass calibration, for I don't know exactly what reason, the connection does not fully establish here. But the connection is fully established via this telemetry radio, so you could always use USB or another telemetry radio. And just to show what I mean, oh, and look at that, of course it all loads this time, so don't actually listen to me. We have a full connection in both places. All right, I'm going to start video recording, and I'm going to put us into loiter flight mode. It does not seem like we have any compass warning messages across either instance of QGroundControl. Feels kind of sacrilege. We're not using the iVue RC app at all for this test flight, but let's go ahead and try arming.
Armed. EKF3 IMU1 MAG0 ground mag anomaly, Yaw realigned. EKF3 IMU0 MAG0 ground mag anomaly, Yaw realigned.
It looks like it was better than it was at Haw Creek Park. Maybe not quite as good as it was during the first flight that we had at Fowler Park. But it is definitely holding a lot more still than it was at Haw Creek. So somewhat of an improvement, but now we actually see it picking up. So let's go ahead. We're going to try and landing it. I'm going to stop recording and see if I can counteract the landing. Nice. All right. I didn't get nervous there at all. All right. So let's see if we can disarm now. And it's not disarming. Let's see if I can do disarming manually. So I should have been able to hold down the stick down all the way to the left. So it looks like we should at the very least do a compass calibration, which we're about to do. I'm going to leave both of these controllers up and running. Going to pop that antenna out just like that. Going to take off my watch, and actually if this is working, I'll leave my computer over here, take out the controller, put it either on the case or in the case, and see if we can do the compass calibration all hands-free essentially. Sensors. And so there's a compass mode option here in QGroundControl. I thought I would have to use Mission Planner to do this. So this is recommended for vehicles that only have an internal compass and on vehicles that there's significant interference on the compass from the motors, power wires, etc. So we would be the second camp there. Compass mode only works well if you have a battery current monitor, which we do have because the magnetic interference is linear with current drawn. It is technically possible to set up compass mode using throttle, but this is not recommended. Disconnect your props, flip them over, and rotate them one position around the frame. In this configuration, they should push the copter down into the ground when the throttle is raised. I did see they recommended actually like tying down the copter, but there's no tape strong enough to really hold down the developer HP if I get it wrong. So yeah, it says secure the copter perhaps with tape so it does not move. We could use like tent stakes above the landing gear, but again, pushing downwards, it shouldn't move, right? Turn on your transmitter and keep throttle at 0. Click OK to start compass calibration. So That's what we'll get to if it does not look like the normal compass calibration resolves our toilet bowling issue. So compass, using external compass as priority 1. And I should remove all my keys and wallet. I don't think this is actually good to do with the gimbal initialized, but we'll see. And then we may have to redo this again with the gimbal unplugged or turned off. I don't even know if we finished. Let's see. So it doesn't even look like it's really going. We're going to try again.
Rearm. Compass calibration running.
And let's see if I can. See it this time. Okay, it looks like it's running this time. I don't know why it wasn't running previously. Hopefully I'm not going to break any of these props doing this compass calibration. Beyond having the gimbaled camera off, might be easier to do this with the props off, but we're not always worried about what's easy. Okay, look at that, not too bad. So we'll definitely want to reinitialize. We are in the yellow on both, but on the upper side of the yellow closest to the green. So I'm going to call that a win. Parameters, tools, and of course QGroundControl crashed on us. So we're going to reboot the old-fashioned way. Unplugging the battery. And plugging back in. And camera initialized. We have the camera feed back up here. Let's grab our belongings. Let's head back to the table. We lost our video feed. Not the video feed.
Stabilize flight mode.
And we got the video feed back.
Loiter flight mode.
Getting a camera swapped out, so let's see which is gonna happen first. The camera battery swap out, yep, looks like that's happening first. More so than the connection establishing in this instance of QGroundControl. All right, we do have camera control, but vehicle setup. Maybe you'll be able to see what I was referring to earlier with not getting a full solid connection here in this instance of QGroundControl on the MK32 controller. It's because it's Chinese. I'm kidding. See? Yeah, my screen recording is still going. I'm no Pranav. You would have had to watch the most previous video to get that reference, but of course you all have. You wouldn't miss one of these videos for the world. All right, why the heck is QGroundControl taking so long? All right. I just closed out a QGroundControl and reopened it, and let's all watch together, shall we? We need this green line to go from left all the way to the right. To the right! Sorry. I'll refrain from those bad high-pitched noises as much as I can, which isn't much. Trying to point the antennas while still allowing you to somewhat see what's on the screen. It looks like we may get a full connection again, so I'm just gonna sound like a two-faced liar if this doesn't, or if it does fully connect. Oh my gosh, and of course it fully connected. Vehicle setup, yep, all right. Well, I guess there's worse problems to have. So it is now definitely raining, but let's go ahead. Recording video, arming. All right, and look at that. That compass calibration did just what we needed. So I'm rotating. This is rotating the whole copter. Now I'm just rotating the gimbaled camera using the touchscreen input. And again, this is a thermal camera, but right now all we are testing out is the normal video camera, the normal video feed. All right. I just stopped recording the video and it is raining pretty hard now, so I'm gonna bring this back in because, you know, quite frankly, I don't want to damage another one of these $3,000 thermal cameras. So I am fairly darn happy with this slight performance. So just goes to show, if you're ever having the toilet bowl effect, at least with a developer HP built out like this one is, you should be good with a solid compass calibration before your flight. And disarmed, all right. Well, there you have it. We'll be back out with this developer HP in the next couple days or so, maybe next few days with what we have coming up. But next time you'll see it with a thermal camera in operation. I think with this video, you'll see the quality of the normal photos and videos this system can capture. Again, it's a SIYI ZT6, and this is the SIYI MK32 controller. And then maybe after the thermal video, we'll actually do a deep dive into how this is set up and configured. But if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comments section below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.